Hi, everybody. I'm here with Brian Sanchez, who is a personal trainer at Parkway Athletic Club in Carson City, Nevada. Thanks for being here, Brian.
Always happy to be here with you, Steve. Always happy to say hi to everybody out there.
Well, we were just talking about how now we're going to talk about making sure you work your whole body. So this is
Oh,
going to be kind of funny. And you guys are, I'm sure some of the things that we talk about, you're going to be able to relate to and say, I've seen that in the gym. It's kind of funny stuff about how people neglect one body part or another and they just work on one thing. But we're just mentioning how wise you look with your nice little goatee or whatever that
we,
is.
we did not mention I was wise. You mentioned I was wise, and I clarified for you that my knuckles drag. It's impossible for me to look wise.
All right, I withdraw the compliment. Okay, so we were just talking about before we turn this on, seeing this stuff in the gym. And you see men, it's more common for men just to work their upper body and for women just to work their lower
Lower
body.
body,
It's
yes.
so funny. And they look all lopsided. You see the guys that, they're working their shoulders and their chest and their arms, their biceps, their triceps, and then they got these toothpick legs. It looks like they're going to tip over. And then, it looks goofy. Stop that. So I would suggest working on your weaker body parts. And then you see the women, look, for the last couple decades, the thing has been get your butt as big as you can get it, right? So
Right.
women are in there doing all these hip flex movements and using the glute machine and, straight leg deadlifts and all these exercises to build their booty. Cause it's like for the women, you can't get it big enough, right? That's kind of the thing. So tell me about your experience with this.
Look, I see this all the time. I see because you get used to who's in the gym when I'm here, and I see both sides of it. I see the people that focus specifically on lower body, and I see those that have never touched their legs since I've seen them in the gym. And there's other things that you have to remember. You have to remember that you have a front portion of the body and a rear portion of the body. You'll see these people with big front chest muscles, front delts, and you look at them and there's nothing in their rear of their shoulders. They don't have a bulbous shoulder. It kind of stops halfway, and they don't have any traps. You have to work the entirety of their body, and I get it. I can't stand working my arms, and those of you who've been following us know that I don't care for it, but I put them into workouts. I don't work them out by themselves because I think it's a waste of time. I'm not a bodybuilder, not trying to be a bodybuilder. I don't care how big my biceps are. However, it's important for the body. Your body, in order for it to function in its purest sense, you have to work all the muscles to really truly achieve an appropriate physique for you. And I'm not saying you have to have the biggest calves or the biggest quads or the biggest biceps, but the body is designed so that from your toe to the top of your head, everything works in conjunction with each other. So if you have dominant parts of the body and body parts that aren't dominant, you're going to see that people's shoulders roll forward because they got a very dominant portion of their body, or they don't have calves, which is almost impossible to bulk for a lot of people, and I get it. Or they'll have big biceps and no triceps. You have to work the front and the back of the body. Always remember this. Balance the body out. And there are ways to do it. And if there are things you hate, Steve said it, make sure you're still doing it. If you don't like squats, do leg presses. If you don't like squats, do hack squat. If you don't like squats, do lunges till you can't see straight. Find ways to work the entirety of your leg. Also, for those who are really concerned with their posterior, if you will, don't work your hip work every day. You're going to break it down. It's going to stop evolving. It's going to stop growing. You have to smash it and then leave it alone for a few days. You don't want to be in there every time you go in there putting a bar across your hips and doing hip raises with 225 every time you go to the gym. It's 100% unnecessary. And I'm not sure you're going to get the growth you want. You have to think about that. That'd be like if I went to the gym and all I did was bench press. If all I did was bench press, I would have no function in the rest of my body. I'd have a dominant chest. My body would be out of shape. I'd have weird rolls in my shoulders. I'd have bad posture. All that would start to occur. So in order to align your body, we work everything. And as coaches and as trainers, we ensure people are 360 covered, head to toe, and everything to do. Wait a minute. I can't do that exercise because I have a bum knee. I can't do that exercise because my elbow hurts when I do it. Then talk to us. We will find alternative exercises for you to work those zones of your bodies. You don't want to create that excuse because you have an existing injury that you don't work zones of your muscles. There are several ways to get through injuries, pain, and things of this nature to get effective work done on those muscles. And if you're always going to have if you develop arthritis and things like this, yeah, you might grind a little bit when you move. I get it. You're going to have to make friends with that pain. We got to get those muscles moving. Steve?
Yeah, you went front and back. I went up and down, top and
Right.
bottom.
Right.
But you're so right as far as not just the aesthetics of your body, but the health of your body. If you
Right.
just did bench press for a decade, you're going to look really weird.
Right.
If that's all you did and you pounded the bench press, and you can't do this stuff, I people have a tendency to work their favorite body part. And their favorite body part always happens to be their best body part. They got a solid chest. They're always working their chest. Look, I work my legs more and my arms more because they're thin. I don't work my chest as much. My chest is thick, but the front and the back is important too. You work the front of the shoulders, you work the back of the shoulders. You work the front of the leg, you work the back of the leg. You work the quads, you work the hamstrings. It's really important to keep that balance because that will keep you from getting injured also. Those antagonist muscles have to be balanced out so that your body can function the way it wants to function and you can maximize your strength and the look of your physique too.
You could do something as simple if you're trying to figure out how to do that and kind of go along with what Steve's saying is you look it up online. How do I make sure my upper back is good? How do I make sure my lower back? How do I make sure my mid back? Something as simple as how you grip a bar can change what portion of those zones you're hitting, or more specifically, what it's defining within those zones. Do you want to go inside bench press? Do you want to go wide? Do you want to go hammer hold? All of that changes how you hit those muscles. You can look all this up so that you can ensure you're hitting all these zones and making sure you're 360 covered all the way around, head to toe.
Yeah, good points. You can usually find stuff online. You're doing a lat pull. Okay, that's going to work lower on your lats, but you're also doing a seated row. That's going to work the mid part of the back and in closer on the back. And you want to work your upper thighs, your lower thighs, work it all and get a balanced body, not just for aesthetics, but for your health.
And for what it's worth, Steve, I do hip flex moves and I use the glute machine only because when I sit down, I miss. I have nothing back there.
Wow, your booty's growing.
Hey, I'm coming around.
Yeah, but that's funny. I mean, for the women, the goal is to have the biggest butt you can possibly have. When I was in high school, all the girls wanted a little butt. That was in the 70s. They wanted little butts. Now they want big butts.
It's interesting you say that because I think that's also where we see in the generational differences food and the relationships with food. Our generation was taught eat just a little bit to stay healthy, where the generations coming through that are studying and have all this information understand you have to eat appropriately for your body weight, size, and activity to maintain health and your muscular growth and your body's stability. And little things like that, it's the same thing in the weightlifting. As things go on and as the generations change, certain groups do certain things. I find that very interesting.
Yeah, back in the 60s, 70s, when I was a kid, we pretty much ate whatever we liked because the food was different back then. I was talking to one of our partners today about who's my age. I was talking to John, and we were talking about what we used to eat, and it's like if you ate that now, you'd blimp out. You know,
Yes.
it's like I don't know. The food was different, but we're trying to we were just kind of hypothesizing on why could we eat those things back then, but the kids these days they can't. I mean, we drank soda. They drink sodas and they're huge. Now, yeah, we were riding our bikes and everything all over the place. I know I'm going on a rabbit trail, but it was interesting. We were just kind of kicking that back and forth. Go, it's got to be the
Generational
food. The food's
differences.
different, but
The food's
the,
different, activities different. We used to be sent outside because we didn't have games inside computers and we couldn't sit, and our houses weren't big back in those days. Everybody lived in cramped quarters. You wanted outside to go play stickball or play football, whatever you're going to do.
yeah, we had 7 people in 1,000 square feet. But you know what the good thing about the food now? Here's the good thing that matches what everybody wants. You just eat the food as it is, and you will get a gigantic butt. I mean, your ass will get enormous if you just eat the food. Standard American diet, right?
Yes.
You'll get the big butt. It's not a problem.
And now that we've just been canceled, we'll see you guys soon.
All right, everybody. Brian, we'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.